No. Don't look at my legs, because they tell stories of deceit and disguise. Look in my eyes, because last time I checked, looking at my thighs couldn't tell you that I wanted to die. How many times I tried, the scars I hide, the need in my bones for formaldehyde. They'll tell you I'm fine, and that's a lie. I should label myself disabled or out of order, because you can't see my disorder, because you looked at my legs so they lied to you, because I look like you. You assume I can do what you can do, and that's just not true. So let me challenge you. Let me damage you. Let me break your mind open and start anew. Let's undo the damage of physicality. Let me tell you about me. I'm Kate. I'm disabled. Do you know the difference between fear and phobia? Because I do. I spent 8 years not leaving my room, too frightened to. My phobia, my disability, is of being perceived negatively. It's a fear lots of people feel sometimes, but some people just stay inside. When fear gets so big it stops you living your life, that's a phobia. Got a fear response I can't control. And whilst the triggers are normal, the reactions are not. So whilst you might sympathise, you can't empathise. Can't understand every moment of every day as a fight for me. That what might be good for you isn't right for me. You looked at my legs and missed my personality, my irrationality, the part of my brain that is out for me. To you, communication might be an easy thing. For me, it takes planning, panicking, and a friend in the wings. Because every word I say, every gesture or blink sets my mind racing about what you might think. And though lots of people are scared they'll do the wrong thing, this compulsive obsessing controls all aspects of living. So don't look at my legs. It isn't vanity. I just want you to see. I want you to see what it's like when every waking moment's terror and agony. And if I stop moving for a second, it catches up to me. And fear floods my system till it exposes my nerves till I shake with them. Till shaking becomes my own rhythm. And I try to stay still, I'm still shivering. See, I'm shaking. But I got up here, so that's a victory. Because more than my own personal agony, I need you to not judge those like me. But I know, being able to tell you about my disability will automatically make you see a lack of authenticity or question me, how bad can it be? You wrote that poem for your fucking degree. I'm not homework. Stop trying to highlight mistakes I make in trying to be something I'm not. I see you looking at me like, what? What's your problem? You're just like us, we're all afraid, we're all nervous. The irony is that by trying to explain this to you, I do the impossible and prove myself a lie, because I said I couldn't face you, but I have to help redefine and explain what I am, what we are, the broken, the breaking, those with invisible diseases that are by far more painful to live with in isolation. But I got up on stage, so they ripped my disability to shreds. They say, sweetheart, it's all in your head, or why don't you just take your meds? And I know it's confusing. Don't look at my legs. I stand on them because I have to, because society's broken and I needed to hear those with voices unspoken. I need to incite change, I need to invite an exchange of ideas till it's no longer accepted that everyone's the same, till people look with hearts, not eyes, and sympathise, and I won't have to compromise on who I am and say, yes, I can walk, so I must be fine. Shouldn't have to be fine. Shouldn't have to be average. Your projected ideals are doing me damage. If you look at a person and deem them normal, that's no more equal than assuming they aren't, and I can't sit back and let it continue. Yes, my legs work. I work harder. And for me to live happily ever after, I need the world just to grasp so that this is what disability can look like. It looks like anyone else, trying their best to speak up, to speak out, to help you understand what I brain backwards about, because sometimes it'll freeze on the most basic thing and I'll be mid-sentence, have to leave you hanging while fear overrides my ability for talking. But for now, I got up here to share this, and I need you to help. I'll get to my knees, I'll cry and I'll beg, please, please don't judge me. Don't look at my... Thank you. About disability and mental health. Before I considered myself disabled, well, before the government considered me disabled, I grew up in the disabled families community because of a severely physically and mentally disabled sister, so I know a lot about it. And that's kind of cool because it means that I don't really understand boundaries between people, like these arbitrary labels we put on people and they go, I don't like you because you're this. I just go, oh, that's Kevin. He's alright, which is a pretty cool way to be, but it does mean that a lot of the time I'm confused by the language that people use and random hate because of my sister, who I adored. So I wrote this poem called Something Special about her, and I hope you enjoy it. My sister loved me, and I loved her. My sister. At birth mottled purple but still beautiful. She came with a free soundtrack, and by that I mean she cried for 730 days straight. The doctors told my parents she wouldn't live past 2. My sister. At 2, they changed diagnoses more often than they changed her bedclothes. She laughed sometimes. When the crying died down to a drizzle in the back of her laughing throat, she laughed. The doctors told my parents she would never develop cognizance. They pressed their lips to clipboards and printed words like agony and death. My sister. She became that at 2 years old, when I was born into a family of chaotic love. She clung to me with clammy, happy hands and threw crayons and books in my direction. She signed to me, drink, biscuit, flour. That last one she made up herself. The doctors told my parents she would suffer. They told us her intestines went up and down, not side to side. They rocked us. I rocked her. I didn't care her stomach was trying to eat her. I just wanted to kiss that cheek again. I didn't care her bones had to be splintered in order to grow in straight lines. I wanted to curve myself around her body and protect her from the big bad world. She laughed sometimes. A lot. She laughed a lot of the time. My sister. She liked kisses and Weetabix made soggy from the milk. She liked to play with handbells and always spilled her drinks. She liked to race her electric wheelchair past the kitchen table and steal my daddy's wine. Sometimes he laughed. The doctors told my parents she would never speak, that her brain would never develop far enough for language or movement, that she would be chair-bound with nerve endings on fire until someone snuffed her out. They said, "You can leave her here with us if you want to." Lots of people do. We'll take care. For the record, she walked with help. She said my name. She blew the impact of her life into shrapnel stars so that I will always have guidance back to love and helping others. She was not useless with disability. She became the sky for me. My sister. The fucking spastic retard. Spastic. Yeah, skeletal muscles contracting without control. Yeah, retard. Retarded, someone whose brain development occurs slower than average. Yeah, that's what it means. That's all that means. It means when your baby sister is squirming in pain as her organs turn cartwheels, you can't explain to her why it hurts so much. You can say it'll get better, but she won't understand. It means crying, she's crying, I'm crying. It means agony, fucking, yeah, that's my fucking sister. And I've heard people use words synonymized with offence, words to wound, made from the bleeding wounds of disabled people and their families who look like me. Sometimes I would scream. Sometimes I would shout. Sometimes, God forgive me, I even laughed, trying not to be unreasonable about language. Because if you don't know what it's like to hold your sibling in your arms as they writhe, trying to wriggle closer to death, because they don't understand why you don't love them enough to make the pain stop, good for you. My sister's brain development occurred slower than average. My sister was severely disabled. My sister loved me, and I loved her. Guess you could say we had something special. Thank you.